Hi, I'm Chris. I'm a 48-year-old dad of 3 and a coach. I train 2 hours per week and I'm in the best shape of my life. I take a quality over quantity approach to my workouts, pretty minimalist. And in a few minutes, I'm going to explain exactly how high intensity training for men over 40 works. Plus, I'll show you the exact techniques that I use to work smarter rather than longer. In the gym, I'm actually going to be doing them as well for you rather than just talking about them. So stick around for that. But first, let me explain why everything you know about building muscle after 40 is probably wrong. Now, I see a lot of fellas around my age, I'm 48, like I said, trying to train like they're still 25, thinking that they need to be spending 4 or 5 hours a week in the gym doing bodybuilder splits that they saw some buff youngster doing on Instagram and wondering why they're always sore, always tired and starting to hate working out, and also, most importantly, not seeing any real progress for all of their efforts. Now, annoyingly, our recovery isn't what it used to be. We have more mental and physical stress than we had 20 years ago with jobs and families and whatnot. That leads to very high cortisol, which lowers our testosterone. So when we add some super high maintenance, brutal workout program into the mix, our body simply can't handle the same volume that we could manage in our 20s without further increasing that cortisol, which further lowers our testosterone, which causes us to build zero muscle and to lose zero fat despite our best efforts, which sucks, of course, and feels very unfair. So the first thing to understand is that after 40, more gym time doesn't equal better or faster results. And this is where high intensity, minimalist approach to workouts comes in. Now, back in the 70s and 80s, 4 Mr. Olympias, or Mr. Olympia, anyway, Dorian, Yates, Mike Mentzer, guys like that proved that you could build incredible muscle training just twice a week with super high intensity. And this went against the accepted wisdom of the time that you had to be working out for hours every day. So the physiques that these guys built showed there was another way and that they were on to something brilliant. But the problem was they had a few advantages that most guys at our age don't have. Number one, they were younger. Number two, they were very much chemically assisted. And they also had multiple spotters with them screaming at them and helping them to squeeze out multiple reps, telling them they were useless if they didn't push harder. So what we can do to get in better shape and build muscle and avoid spending more than 2 hours a week working out is to steal the good parts of this approach and adapt it for our hectic, high-stress real lives at our age. Now, how I've done this for myself and for clients is using a sort of 2+1 system, as I call it, for each exercise. In each workout, I do 2 quick warm-up sets to get some blood flowing and get my joints moving, and then I do 1 absolutely brutal but safe all-out set using one of 4 intensification techniques that I'll take you through in a minute. And that's it. It takes me 5 minutes per exercise, including rests between sets and afterwards. So each workout has 7 or 8 exercises. I do 3 full body workouts per week, no snazzy split routines for me, thank you very much, of about 40 minutes each. You're in and out of the gym fast, but most importantly, you are working at an intensity that actually signals to your muscles to grow. Hopefully that's made you curious, because what I'm going to show you now, or talk you through if you're just listening to this in the background, is how to do those all-out sets and those 4 intensification techniques that make the final set so effective. So you don't need to be doing 4 or 5 sets and spending hours in the gym. And don't worry, there is no screaming required. So let me show you the 4 techniques that we can use to get as much out of one set of exercise as you normally would from 3 or 4 sets. Now, each of these is going to cause some discomfort. It won't feel nice at all. It goes beyond a bit of a burn, and it does require you to lean into a wee bit of masochism for about 20 or 30 seconds at a time. If you're used to taking sets to just about that kind of ow point, then welcome to ow, 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 ow time, I'm afraid. But the payoff is you get to spend a lot less time working out, and you will see better results by sending a very strong signal to the muscles to grow without you having to pummel them with lots of volume, which also, like I said, messes with our hormones and recovery. Now, technique 1 may be familiar to you. It's called rest pause. Essentially, we're going to take the exercise to momentary failure where your form will break if you try 1 more rep. Then we rest for 4 big deep breaths, say 15, 20 seconds, and then we take things to that point again. Then we rest again. Then we keep doing that until you know you won't get even 1 more rep if you try again. This tends to work best with exercises you can easily just drop the weight with when you're done, whether that's machines or with free weights, you wouldn't want to do rest pause on your own with bench press without a spotter, for example. That would be a terrible way to die, wouldn't it? Anyway, then technique 2 is slow negatives. If you think about a conventional rep being 1 second up, 1 second down, the muscle's under tension for 20 seconds with a 10 rep set. But if slow negatives require you to slow that negative phase right down to say 3 or 4 seconds, which really builds up the lactic acid and get a real burn that you've maybe never felt before because you're working against gravity and the weight wants to drop back down quickly. So the time under tension now for a 10 rep set is 45 or 50 seconds. So you've done as much work in one set as you would normally have done in, say, 2.5 regular sets. Now, then technique 3 is called Myo Reps. These have been around for ages now. I didn't invent any of these things, by the way. I'm not that smart. Myo Reps are a little like rest pause, but you're aiming for mini sets of 3 reps until you're at the point you can't manage another mini set of 3. So again, we're going to take the set to momentary failure, say 1 messy rep in reserve, somewhere around the 8 to 12 reps mark. Drop the weight, 4 big deep breaths again, 15, 20 seconds. Crank out 3 more reps and repeat. If you get to the point where you can do, say, 4 or 5 mini sets of 3, that's a sign you probably could have pushed yourself harder on those initial 8 to 12 reps because you should be fairly smoked after 2 or 3 of those Myo sets. And then lastly, we have technique 4, static holds, which as the name suggests, involve just holding a weight at the bottom or the top of the exercise for 2 or 3 seconds, depending on what the exercise is. Here's what I mean by that. I'm going to show you some exercises here. So on biceps curls, we're curling it up, we're holding it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then release. Lat pull downs, you're going to drag your elbows back, pull the bar towards the top of your chest, hold it there for a couple of seconds, and then release. Squats, you go down to the bottom, hold 2 or 3 seconds, and then up you come again. Push-ups, again, lower yourself down towards the floor, hold for 2 or 3 seconds, and then up you come again. So depending on the exercise, the static hold happens somewhere different. Sometimes at the top of the movement, sometimes at the bottom. But similar with our slow negatives, we're trying to ramp up the tension here on each exercise. So we're going to get as much from one hard set as we would, again, from 2 or 3 regular sets. I've even combined static holds with a slow negative on some exercises. For example, with an overhead press for shoulders, I lift it, hold it at the top for a couple of seconds, slowly down for the negative, and there we go. That is horrible, it is brutal, but it is super effective. So I've explained there the 4 intensification techniques. There's rest pause, there's slow negatives, there's Myo Reps, there's static holds. Now let me show you how I put all that together each week. So I do 3 full body workouts with a day off in between. So say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. About 40 minutes each. Like I said, each workout hits every major muscle group with a mix of compound and some isolation movements. So you're building real world strength, of course, but you're also making sure you look good in the process. So here's a typical workout. I would do squats with a static hold. I'll do overhead press with a slow negative. I'll do straight leg deadlifts with a rest pause. I'll do lat pull downs with Myo Reps. Then I'll do biceps curls with slow negatives, tricep push downs with a static hold, and then lateral raises with rest pause. There's always 2 quick warm-up sets to prepare my body, get the blood flowing, waking up the joints with say 45, 60 seconds break between those 2 warm-up sets. Then we do that 1 all-out set using one of those techniques I just showed you. Then we have a minute's break to consider why the hell am I doing this to myself, and then we're on to the next exercise. That's it. 7 to 8 exercises per session, so you're looking at about 20 total work sets for the week. You compare that to 40, 50, 60, 70 junk sets that most guys are doing where we're just going through the motions and not really working that hard intensity-wise. Now, obviously, recovery is absolutely crucial with this approach. You're training harder than most guys are, so your body still needs that time between sessions to actually build the muscle. Don't go falling into the trap of thinking, hey, these sessions are so short, I can do these every day. If you want to work out in some way every day, then go walk and do some mobility work or a bike ride or something. Don't go in the gym and batter your muscles again. And then finally, a quick note on nutrition. Keep it simple. Get plenty of protein in you, say 1 gram per pound of body weight, aim for that. Don't drastically cut calories either. Your body needs fuel to recover from this type of training. So here's your homework. Just try this approach for 4 weeks. Just adapt your workouts a bit. That's all I ask. Then let me know eventually in the comments what you think. For me personally, at 48, I'm stronger and leaner than I was 20 years ago. I am training less than half the time I used to. I love these workouts. I leave the gym feeling energized, a bit tired, obviously, but not completely busted. It's a quality over quantity approach that we need to take at our age. This approach works because it respects the reality, I suppose, of our bodies after 40. You can't out-volume your way to results at our age, but you can out-intensity your way to looking great as you get older. So take care of yourself, mate. Let's talk soon.